This episode is brought to you by the I Am a 5-Star Woman Retreat. Join us as women convene south of tropical Miami, Florida on October 6, 2018. In this one-day retreat from our surrounding worlds, ladies will congregate to enjoy all things Jamila Wellness, from uniting the women in the family with the Forever Brunch, to living our star lives, to building our resilience with Naturally Cinnamon. The attendees of these retreats will leave with tools to immediately apply to their lives. The menu, each section, and every activity have been delicately created to increase every aspect of wellness in women: mental wellness, emotional wellness, physical wellness, financial wellness, and yes, spiritual wellness too. Not only will you walk away with having developed each point of your star, you will be a 5-star woman. Register now at www.starshineconference.com and use promo code podcast to receive 10% off your ticket. Can't make it and want a live stream? There's an option for you too. www.starshineconference.com. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of the day it is that you're tuning in. Welcome to another episode of the Resilience Rising Podcast with me, Naturally Cinnamon. I am a therapist, life coach, resilience cultivator, and the founder and CEO of Jamila Wellness, LLC, where women go to be well and live beautifully. You can find us at resiliencerisinpodcast.com. You can also send in your questions, topics, comments, and feedback at resiliencerisinpodcast@gmail.com. Like this, love this, share it, rate it, comment, but most important, make sure that you're subscribed and following. Here's another episode. Hope you enjoy. Hi, everybody. If you remember back on episode 15, as we were getting ready for Mother's Day, I talked a little bit about the evolution of the relationship with my mom from mother and daughter. For today's episode, I called in my brother so that we both could talk about the evolution of the relationship with our dad. I think it was pretty cool. I love this conversation. Can't wait for you to hear it. Enjoy. By the way, this is part 1. Next week, we will conclude the talk with our dad. Because he's such a complex guy, the conversation got a little bit lengthy, but it's so good. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody, welcome to this episode. And yeah, so I have one of the most special people in my life joining me for this here talk. We don't really have anything we're calling it. We're just talking. I toyed with the whole co-host thing, but nah, today we're just talking. And it is my creative director and brother extraordinaire, Jeremy. Hi, Jim.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? I don't know what to say, so I'm just gonna talk. Hey! All right.
This is my brother, and we decided that we are going to talk about our dad as we gear up for Father's Day. And hopefully those of you out there who are tuning in are celebrating someone on Father's Day, be it a father, grandfather, godfather, uncle, father-in-law, whatever. Somebody, fathered you in some sort of way, and the least you could do is reach out to them on, I've heard people say, yeah, man, I'm going to celebrate my coach. My coach, he did. Okay, well, okay. Whoever. So we were trying to figure out, how do we get into the conversation of our dad? And we just start talking about him, basically. So I came up with a couple of questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So for someone who's never met Dad and you're getting ready to introduce them to him God. For the first time.
Oh, God. Introducing someone to my father for the first time. Okay, so he's a great person. He's just not going to let you know that initially. That's honestly the best way I can put it, where he's going to come off rude, standoffish, quiet. He doesn't want anything to do with you. That's his defense mechanism. That's what you're going to run into first. That's just what it's going to be. And if you can get through that and prove you're a good person, he's a lot of fun to be around, a lot of fun to talk about, a lot to talk to, a lot of intelligence, a lot of wisdom. He's. I mean, if you dealt with me, you can probably deal with my dad, and that's the best way. If you can't deal with me, I'm not introducing you to my father. That's just not even worth it. Because if you can't get through my defense mechanisms, you're definitely not gonna get through his. So I would just say, if I had to introduce him, there are rules. There are just rules, and he's one of the first people in my life to teach me that I have rules. Like each individual person has rules, and everybody better respect them. And so you just have to respect his rules. You have to respect how he does things, how he operates, how he wants things around him, how just how he is. And just once you get into a good place, he's fun. He's great. It's just he's him, and you gotta get past that initial. Nah, I don't want you around here. You gotta get past that, and once you've gotten past that, you're good.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. He's him. It's basically the best way to explain it. It's like he's him, and I've seen him gravitate towards people after maybe a year. I've seen it after maybe 7 years, but it's different.
Yeah, he takes his time on deciding who he wants to deal with, and he's not going to deal with you unless he decides that's a decision he wants to make. It's not going to happen. So you just gotta, that's just what it is. That's what it is. Like, if you don't want to be there, you'll leave. So that's the best way I can put it.
Dad, I think, is very good at discernment. Like, you'll know early on if he's even going to give you that time for him to decide whether or not he wants to be okay with it. Like, you'll know pretty early on.
I'm going to say this, and people are going to think it's weird. But he's like, you can't just walk up to him. You better have an introduction into him. Somebody's got to introduce you to him. He ain't finna just listen to you from you just nobody out of nowhere. So it's like when I'm dealing with my friends and they're like, oh, I know this guy, he got like maybe some tires or wheels or whatever. So he's like, yeah, you got to introduce me. Because I'm not finna just go talk to nobody I don't know like that. He's not finna listen to somebody he doesn't know like that. And you got to have an in. And if you don't have an in, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You're honestly just wasting all of your time. So if you don't have one of us, primarily family members, and the three of us, to directly connect you, or because honestly, even if it's like his friends or people he's known forever, he don't all the way trust them to trust you through them, But he'll make the effort if it's me, you, or mom, where he may not make the effort on anyone else. So it's just, it's like a guarded territory where you got to have a pass to get in there. And once you get in there, he still has to feel you out and decide whether he wants to be on that kind of level with you.
Yeah. Not like mom. It's not like mom.
Not at all like mom.
Mom's going to give you a chance right out the gate.
If, being a product of my two parents, I can always see the two of them in me in individual ways. And I can see, like, I aspire to be something like mom and how she sees the best. She sees the best in people where I'm just like, I don't believe nothing you talking about. And that's my father. That's my father. Like, no, bro, you lying. I don't care. Like, you lying. Like, there's nothing good over there. I'm cynical. And he's cynical. He's very cynical. And I've got some of that cynical ability in me, the ability to look at things in a very cynical way, even though there's probably no reason to. But yeah, I don't trust you.
Yeah. See, yeah, that's a good one. Dad, I tell people sometimes, Dad was kind of born innately untrusting of people. Then throughout his career in insurance and dealing with fraudulent people and liars and all kinds of foolishness, that just made it worse. So now he's like, to almost everything.
He sees, in a way, the same way I do. He'll see how you're doing terribly towards people in the way you act and do things. Like, he'll see a lawyer and be like, yeah, you may be a good lawyer, but what are you lawyering for? Like, what are you fighting for? Like, you're fighting just to keep the money off of your client's bill. Like, yo, you're a terrible person. I don't want to deal with you. It's more than this business that I have to deal with you on. Like, we gotta do this, but that's all we're gonna do. Because I don't trust you as a person. You don't do the things that people worth trusting do. You know, like you're just out here for this money. Got you. I now see what you are, and I've placed you in the category with which I can deal with you. If I can't place you in any of those categories, you got to go.
Yeah, basically. And so here, do you find it different to introduce, and neither of us have had very many of these experiences, but introduce regular people to that versus someone you're in a relationship with?
Man, I'll be completely honest. I don't introduce anybody to that or mom. I don't introduce the people from my regular life.
Like I said, we don't have very many of these.
And I don't do it for numerous reasons, but for dad. No, first, and before we get to their part of it, I'll get to my part of it. It's because I keep a lot of my life hidden to myself. I like compartmentalize people. You go here, you go there. None of y'all, like some of y'all ain't gonna interact, and when some of y'all do interact, it's only a little bit, honestly, because you're not here for what they're here for. So I do that, and that's what I do. But as far as like introducing you to my parents. My parents are the most precious people in the world to me. There's no two people, no one person, no anybody that's more precious to me. People I would want to protect from other people's bullshit. I don't want you coming in here and, excuse me, I'm sorry. And I said, I'm sorry. I was conscious of trying not to curse, and then I started talking. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't want to, like, my parents have done it all for me, in my mind. And I don't want to bring you in whatever energy you bring in unless it's grade A energy to them, because like, yo, why would I bring you around them when you're just a fly-by-night, not good person? So I have to be 100% sure that you can meet my parents, and I mean 100% sure before you can meet my parents, before you meet my parents. So, and especially dad, because he may not like you. He just may not like you. He may not like you, and how do you deal with that when you like somebody and he just does not like them at all, and he doesn't hide it?
I can answer that. I can answer that. And I don't know. I do strongly feel that he's different towards anyone that you may be in a relationship with and meeting her versus me, his daughter, being the her, introducing him to. He goes into raging dragon-sized rabbit pit bull, why are you here mode, and it is almost fascinating to watch. And sometimes it's just like, wow, he's just really angry that you even exist. So it's like, wow. I introduced my parents to every dude, even if I'm not really sure, because it's different now. But when we all lived in the same city, I wanted them to meet everybody, because dad was going to see something in this young man that I wasn't seeing because I was just so enamored. And I needed his
input. Like I needed to feed off of his input because it was like, you see something I'm not seeing, and I need to see it. I need to be able to see it. I need to know what it is. So I would feed off, but it was hard because even if he kind of liked the boy, he wouldn't, like you said, wasn't going to let you in right away. So it's kind of like, so yes or no? Like what? No? Is it and if it was a staunch no, I already knew how this relationship was going to go. Because it's like, okay, you're not going to get far. But now that they've moved away, it's different. I became not so much interested because bringing you to where they live means you meeting all the rest of my family too, and
Well, and I think, I mean, well, you know, for a fact, there's only been one. I've only met, if they didn't already know her, which is usually the case, you know, back home because, you know, church and all that stuff, they would already know her beforehand, and they would just relearn her as my girlfriend. Whereas, you know, I've only brought one person to meet my parents as my girlfriend. So I don't know, like, and it's something I've had to deal with personally over the last, I don't know, like 2 years or so, where I'm just willing to let people not be okay with who I'm okay with, you know? And so my father is just very plainly, you can see it plainly when he's just not digging somebody.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, no, I don't like him.
Yeah.
I don't like him at all. And I didn't know how to deal with that. I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't know how to deal with that. So I wasn't gonna bring nobody around for him to be like, I don't like her. So I could be like, oh, what do I do now? I just never wanted to. I never wanted to deal with that, so I didn't. And so, and even if I know, but like I started off, he's a good person. I just would hate for my father to not like somebody I felt I truly liked, deeply.
Yeah.
And not know how to bridge that gap because they are two independent adults, and they may never get along. That's just real, and I wouldn't know how to go home with this person I considered a part of my life, a significant part of my life, if the other significant part of my life is like, nope, she ain't it. So I mean, I didn't bring anybody home because of that for a long time. I just didn't want them to say no.
Yeah.
And you know, Dad, when he says no, it's a very resounding, very telling no. It's not like I don't really like. No, he's like I don't like her.
It's like, I don't like you now. I'm not gonna like you. Like, it's never going to. You don't have a chance. Like, that's how his no.
Yeah, it's not a maybe. It's a no.
No, it's a no. It is a hard no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's even done that to some of my female friends. Like, he flat out told me, yeah, so and so, I don't like her. Jeez. What is she? He's like, oh, she didn't do anything. I just don't like her.
I just don't like her. And I see that in myself so much. Okay, and like huge. Okay, rabbit hole. I see so much of my father, and for so long, I can't explain how long I didn't want to be anything like the man. I want to be everything opposite from the man. I want to be everything else. And then you start living. You just keep living. You just keep staying alive. You keep doing stuff. And you end up like, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm too much like this man. So that was something I had to deal with for him.
Sound like you're still dealing.
Yeah, no, to this day I'll do something I'm like, Dad will do that, and I don't like. Okay, like I saw my father go to a job for my entire life almost until he retired that he hated, hated with a passion. I never wanted to do that. It's 90% of the reason why I keep jumping from place to place trying to find the right place. I never want to. He retired, and he wasn't happy because he could do something else. He was just happy because he didn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be there. I'm still not comfortable with the idea that, you know, I would want to retire from something simply because I don't want to work for anybody else ever again. And I don't know what I want to do, but I know I damn sure, excuse me again, I'm sorry. Don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be working for you. I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want to hear what you got to say. I don't want. So it's like, man, I don't want to be some other. But he was. He did it because he was doing something else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wanted to raise a family and protect and provide for his family and his wife and things like that. So yeah, he dealt with the job. That was just something he had to deal with to do what he wanted to do, and it's determination. But man, I just remember how he would talk about that job, and how he would talk about the people at his job and everything surrounding his job. Like, it was the worst part of his day, but it was the longest part of his day every day. But he didn't want to go back the next day, but he would.
Yep.
When I watched him for the last 3 or 4 years work to retire, I don't want to ever be in a position where I'm just going to the finish line because there is one. Not because it's one of the race I want to run. It's just a finish line, and I don't got to do this anymore. I just didn't want that.
Dad retired in, I think it was 2006.
Hold on. Sorry.
Wait.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, we'll edit all that out.
Yeah.
Dad retired in, I think it was 2006 or early 2007. One of those. Something like that. So I actually talked to Mom about this very thing that you just mentioned, and I was like, you know, Jeremy had brought up once or twice that he watched Dad hate going to work every day, and that really stuck with him. Like, he doesn't want to be that. Not part of his life. So she was just like, wow. And I guess because we were so young during those days, she was like, there was a point when Dad thoroughly loved his job. Like, by the time we were old enough to notice how he was going and coming from work, those years he hated. So that's probably the last 10 years, I'll say, 10 to 12 years of his employment, and he worked for 35 years. So we missed, not because we weren't alive, just because we were, 9. We didn't know anything. We missed the days that he enjoyed it. Yeah. We missed that. So we don't know what the first 20 years look like. I don't know for him, and we don't know what he looked like when he loved his job, but he did. So it was like, wow, that kind of changed things. I could probably do something for 10 years and then go find something else that I love even more. I'm trying to do right now. But yeah, I've had my fill. But I'm like, I'm good. But it's like, that's just interesting. And when I say, you are absolutely right, he did it because it was really a means to something else. He didn't, in his last years, it was like, okay, so the mortgage is about to be paid off. I ain't quitting right now. Yeah. And the kids are going to college. I ain't quitting right now. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm in this position right now where I dread every morning of the work week. I do. But then when I come home and I know the lights are on, my mortgage is paid, and all this, I'm like, all right, I could do this for another paycheck. And I have to take a paycheck for paycheck. I'm like, all right, I can go for the next pay week.
I mean, you know, I made a decision. I walked away at one point because the worst part of every day of my life became the hour and a half period before I had to get in my car.
Mhm.
Just the idea that I was about to go do something I hated every second of.
Mhm.
And that I had willingly decided to do that. And I didn't have any idea where I would be going next, so it was like, this is the only thing I can do right now, you know? So it was like, you know, and yeah.
But see, that's something you have that I don't have, and sometimes envy is this spontaneity to just be like, nope, not doing that. I
But
don't know what's coming next, and I know in the midst of some of those things you stressed out a little bit, but it's still like you can look back and say, but I'm not dealing with that. And here, sometimes I'm like, cinnamon, just walk away.
but I don't ever want to tell somebody not to walk away because, you know, some things is each person, and this is gonna sound so, I'm not the person to say stuff like this. Oh God. But each person is literally a vessel. Like, you take in so much and you pour out so much of yourself. And you take in some more and you pour it out and you continually do that. What happens when there's nothing else to take in? But you keep pouring out. You're empty, like you're literally running on E.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody sees their car and see that light come on, they get to the gas station.
Yeah.
What about when your light comes on?
What do you do?
So, I know, I made a decision haphazardly. Let me not lie. Let me not throw that out there like I was like, yeah, I'm done and I'm going to move on to greater things in life. Nah, it hurt. It hurts presently.
Mm-hmm.
But could I have kept doing it? Could I have kept going? Yeah. It's not beyond me. But why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, my life is it's defined by the job next to my name, the employment status that I have, or the paycheck I'm getting. None of those things define me. They are just things that are. I define me, the things I do, what I actually do, what I actually love to do, and the things I spend my time doing, the way I interact with people, who I am defines me. So if this job is taking away from who I am, it's got to go. It's got to go. Like, there's not, like, don't let these people with all the money tell you that there ain't no more jobs out there. They need us more than we need them. This is a fact, and I'm not gonna let you dictate how I'm able to live because of how you value me. Nah, fam, I'm bigger than that. Mm-hmm. So, and I get that from my father to some extent, because he's just, you know, like, in good ways and bad ways, like, you can do it. You got to do it.
You have to do it.
You got to do
that
it.
That is a lesson from him.
You got to do it. You got to get it done. Ain't no option. Ain't no other. Hey, yo. At the end of the day, get it done. All the talking, all the murmuring, all the decision making, all the doubts, all the nights where everything feels uncomfortable. Get it done, yo. Get it done. I try to find myself being the, I try to in this current society, in this current climate, trying to be the person trying to understand more, understand people. And sometimes you just want to look at somebody, you gotta get done, man. You gotta get done. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You gotta get it done. So, and so I could stay at that job, but I felt, I'm, even without all of the resume, even without the resume, the business resume, ain't no job I can't do.
Right.
Because when it comes down to it, I'm gonna get it done because I got to. And that comes from my dad. That comes from him.
Yep. There were things that Dad set out to teach us. Like he was determined. His son was going to know how to work with his hands, you know, to fix things around the house. Because you pay everybody else to do everything, you will forever be broke.
You ain't got no money.
Yeah. So and he set out to teach his daughter not to be taken advantage of by some other man. It's like there were things that he and Mom set out to teach us, but then there were things that he has no idea that we learned from him. He has and that's one of those things, tenacity and get her done. It's gotta happen. It's just gotta happen. And what's funny is there are people that, because they know I am a hashtag certified daddy's girl, card carrying member of this society. It is what it is. And it's not a secret. So people who know that, when I have conversations with them and say, yeah, my dad made me pay rent. We drew up a lease and everything.
Man, I'm not taking that back, pulling that all the way back, because that goes in a whole different direction. But he taught me, and it's something I haven't embraced until extremely recently. But I would say it to people because I knew it was a good lesson, but I hadn't embraced it enough in my life and what I do. Defining the lines, drawing the lines of acceptance early, first day out. Like, this is what I'm going to accept, and this is what I'm not going to accept. You make your choices. I've already told you what it is.
He is a man of boundaries. You
will not cross my lines, is how he lives. And that's just, and it's something I didn't really, and even then I'm not gonna lie, I do it with much more compassion than he does. He is a very staunch, you ain't about to do that. You're not about to do that. I don't care what you think. I don't care what's going on in your brain. I don't care what you've been through, what you're thinking, who's hurt you. I don't care. You're not about to do that. That's how he stands out. Listen, I'll try to work with your line. I see you got this kind of hurt. But at some point, you're not about to do that, fam. So at some point, my line is drawn. I just need to be very effusive in my communication of where my lines are early, so that there's no question about what shouldn't and shouldn't be done. He taught me that, and that's who he is. My boundaries are set. This ain't about to happen. And he, even with us, even with his children, there were boundaries that would not be crossed. There are things you were not going to get done. Even if you, no. You, especially once you became an adult, no. But, there's certain things you just not, no, I'm not just going to, let you get away with it. No. You crossed the line.
Yep.
And so, he was very, very strong with his use of boundaries. And I've and not to say that's completely positive in every situation.
Because sometimes it's just hear me out. Nope, no. These are the rules. I told you the rules. I'm not bending the rules, and you broke the rules.
You're not listening. He's not about to. You broke the rules, man. You're not about to listen. Too bad. You're done.
That's the consequence of breaking the rules. You will not be heard as to your reason why you broke. The point is, you broke
the rules. I told you not to do something, and whatever led you to do it, too bad. And so that's real.
Yeah. Here's a boundary. Dad, like I said, Dad always taught me never to take anything from a boy. So here I am in high school, my little high school boyfriend, whatever, senior year, all that great, wonderful stuff. And he gives me money to get my nails done. And he wanted me to put his name across my nails. He had a 5-letter name, and he wanted one of
Can I just say how lame that is?
No, it is. Looking back, it's what?
That's so lame. And looking at myself, I'm like, man, that was so lame. And I'm looking at my friends back in there, like, man, they were so lame.
But Dad saw that in the moment where we did not think it was lame. So here I come home on my left hand ring finger nail. Wrong finger.
By far.
His initials. I want you to know, I'm lucky he didn't snatch those acrylics straight off the nail, because he was that angry. He said, you will go in that bathroom, you will get the nail polish remover, you will take that off of all the nails, like not just that nail, all the nails, take them off. And then he said, how much was it? And I was like, I don't know, like $20. I don't remember, so I'm going to say $20. And he said, okay. He went in his wallet, got that $20, gave back. He said, you will give this back to that man.
Pay him back.
You will give this money back. Anything you think you want, you get from me. And if I don't give it to you, it's because you're not going to have it. I crossed the line. I crossed the line. There was nothing to say.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like the time I was 14. Our mom was the head of the youth department in our church. All right, cool. Mom would take the van, the Astro van, and pick kids up on the way to youth meetings and drop them back off home and stuff. So there was a kid, I mean, he was in high school, but he was 19, and he left a folder in the van. Mom asked me to call and tell him he left the folder. Somehow he drove out to our house.
Yep.
Dad answered the door. And here's this 19-year-old man with some sort of facial hair. I don't remember everything at the time. And he's asking for his 14-year-old daughter. Oh, they sent him in here? There was, to this day, I was 14, I am 38. There's to this day still no explanation. The boundary was you will not have male visitors, and the boundary was crossed. He wasn't here to visit me. He was here to pick up his phone. He made me come to the door. He said, tell this boy you don't get male visitors.
It wasn't even about me. It wasn't even about his mom. Mom asked me. Didn't matter.
None of that mattered.
Didn't matter. And that's just what it was. You know, the rules were the rules.
Dragon-sized rabbit, pit bull, breathing fire. I'm telling you, when it...
The rules are the rules. Like I'm 34, you're 38. And there's tons of things I do that I know my parents don't approve of. You think I'm finna do it in front of them?
No.
I'm grown. And I ain't about to do that.
Dude, I don't care how grown.
That ain't the move. That ain't the wave, yo. Like, yo, yeah, they respect me as my own person. They respect that I have my own opinions and my own way of living life. They respect all of that. And I respect that they are my parents and I will not do it in front of them. Yep. Period.
Right.
That's just what it is. They have rules. I don't break them.
There was a thing on Facebook. One of our cousins posted it. This was a while back, and she said, you know, if you didn't at some point steal your mom's car, you're lame.
I am the lamest lame ever lamed in the history of lame. You talk about I ain't look at the keys wrong.
No, I was like, hey, do y'all want to die? I did not want to die.
Like, okay, rabbit hole. Kendrick Lamar on his album Damn had a verse on this song called Fear, and it's basically from the perspective of a mother, you know, telling him, you ain't finna do this. Here's a curse word. Everybody watch out. Sorry. He's like, I'll beat your ass. Like, you're not finna do this. I'm finna beat your ass. Like, that's how in this situation the mother's talking to the son, and at the end of it he says, you know, with you 7-year-old, I'm gonna teach you to fear me if you fear nothing else. I feared my parents more than I feared anything on earth. Like, I feared my parents. I respected them. I loved them. I depended on them. I saw them as the most necessary things in my life, but I feared them also. Yep. I also was not about to cross that line. So, no, My parents aren't the scary. My parents have never been abusive.
Nope.
My parents have never been overly mean. My parents have held back on me in ways I don't know I could ever hold back on somebody.
Mm.
But I want to cross them lines. Like, yo, I'm still what? Still what? I like living. Like, yo, I got a lot more things I want to do with this life. Still what for? For what? For who? For who? For what?
I was like, and I just let the other cousins type on there. So I'm like, girl, yeah, kiki, ha, ha, ha. So I finally was like, well, I'm lame.
I'm 34 years old. My two closest friends are 34 and 33. Pretty much grew up together. One of them I've known more than half of my life at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've known him for like 20 something years at this point. And I was on the phone with the other one, and he was talking, and I was like, you know how much worse because we're terrible people, so we tell each other how terrible each other is, even if they're not. We're just not good for people. Like, it's a relationship we have, and it works. It doesn't work with anybody else. I found that out the hard way. But well, I was like, you know how terrible you are? Like, you know how you're a worse person than I am? And he's like, how? I was like, you've had sex under your parents' roof. I'm 34, and I've never done that.
Ooh.
I've never had sex under my parents' roof. Not once.
The fear.
And wouldn't do it. Still won't do it. Won't do it. Ever. Ever. They can be alive. However long they're alive, I don't care if we're married. I don't care if I'm on a drug binge. I don't care what's going on in my life. Ain't about to happen, fam. So,
here's another boundary. To this day, if we visit our parents' home and we bring a person, now neither of us are married, never been married. So if we bring a person, we could be fully living in a full-on cohabitation situation. They are aware that we sleep in the same bed on a regular basis, but in their house, you gonna be in one room and you gonna be in another room on the other side where I can make sure that y'all are not meeting up in the middle of the night. Y'all think it's a game? It's not a game. One person will be one room upstairs, the other person will be in another room downstairs, and my father will sleep on the couch. You will not
let somebody walk past them if you want to.
Meet in the middle. That's a boundary. You won't break it. And he said if you don't like it, you feel free to get a hotel room. But it's my house.
Go to the hotel. But if you're in their house, it's their rule. And I tell people that I was like, yo, it's in their house, it's their rules. I don't even think about questioning that. It's not even. To me, it doesn't even seem like something worth questioning. Like, yo, it's their house, it's their rules. And now that is something I have wrestled with. As something my father taught me is independency, but in a vicious way, yo. Like the reason, like, people are always like, yo, no, like, you know, I'm out here, I'm in Houston, far away from my family, nothing. Like, why would you do that? I was like, because I had to have my own. I had to have my own, because if I wanted to do anything, I had to do it in my own place. Like, I had to. And I'm viciously independent to the point where I don't let people in, ever. And it's a lot like my father. Those boundaries that he has, I have. And it's also like where, you know, people say, oh, you're too prideful. I'm like, no, I want to know I can do it myself. It's not that I don't think I ever need help. It's just if I never do it for myself, how do I know I ever could do it? But I, for years, didn't speak to the man. Barely spoke to my mother because if she was going to go say something to him, I didn't want her to do it. Because if I needed something, they'd give it, but it'd never be forgotten. You know? Like, yeah, we will help you, but I will always let you know I'm helping you. And it was like, well, then I don't want your help if you have to let me know you're helping me. Like, I'll find a way. Yeah, I'll struggle. It'll be ugly. It'll be dirty. I might do some things you don't approve of, but I ain't finna go ask for your money. And it's to this day. Scrounge, cut off everything, go hungry. I'm not asking for your money, man. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to do that. You used it. There was something you had that I needed, and you let me know all the time that you had it, and I was like, no, thank you. I didn't need to know. I didn't need to know. Like, you could have told me no, and it would have been better than telling me yes and then telling me what you were doing for me over and over and over again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, in dealing with him and that, pride eats in me. It will destroy me, and I know it. Because I'm so prideful, because I don't want to ever go back to the position where I'm like, yo, like, you're not going to tell me what you're doing for me no more. I just won't have anything done for me. Then I'll be bad out here rather than be good and be told I'm the reason why you're being good, like why it's good for you. Nah, I'd rather be out here in the worst, fam. And if that pride is bad, that pride has also fueled me to never latch on to anybody and let them let them drag me anywhere. I got it. Like, all I need is a little, tell me to watch out for that rock. That's all I need, so I don't stumble. But if I stumble, if I put my hand out and you got to tell, I lifted you up, fam, don't lift me up. Then let me lie in the dirt, because I don't want that. I don't want that. And so, in that part of our relationship, it has been a struggle. Because there were years I didn't speak to my father. I would not unless my mom made me, unless she made me. And it was only because I just didn't want to make her sad. But I had nothing to say to him. I had no words. I had no positive words other than, I hope you don't die.
Wow.
That was literally how I felt. Like, I don't want him to die. Like, he's still my father. And he's my mother's husband, and she loves him fiercely. But I don't care for the man right now.
And
how
many years would you say that lasted?
5. And even when I spoke to him, it continued in my soul for much, 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 much longer. I would say, really, even when we didn't speak for about 3 years or so, for real, other than when my mom made us. I felt that way for about another additional 5 years, where I just was like, I don't care. I honestly don't care about the man. I don't care for the man. I don't care for who he is. I don't care for what he says to me. I don't care for anything. And so I will not interact with him one bit unless it is forced upon me. I'll go into this house when it's like an event or a family gathering. I put on all the smiles. I'll do all those things. I'll fake it all the way through and through. And when I leave, I'll be like, good riddance. I did not like the man. And it's still not perfect. It's still not perfect at all. It's not the relationship you and mom have, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Like, I'm just not you. I'm not you. I'm not you. I can't do the whole talking regularly thing. I don't have that much to say and still keep my guards up. And if you talk a lot and my guards go down, I'm going to say some things that's going to hurt some people. I know it, so I don't say a lot. I just don't say a lot because I'm going to tell this person at some point, I don't care. I don't care. Like, all the things that you care about, none. I want you to shut up. I don't even care. Like, you're hurt. Too bad. I don't care today. Today, it's me day. So, I try to be much more compassionate into that. But yeah, there was a time where, like, I didn't know. Like, me and him, I wanted to be everything other than that man. Everything other than that man. Like, and now it's just more of, as I discover who I am, honestly, the things that I want, honestly, unfettered by anything else outside of me. We're different. We're very different. Just simply in the things we want in life, we're different. Right. And it's hard to talk to him now about a lot of those things because Dad's going to tell you exactly how he thinks as if it's the only thing there is. Right. And he's just like, that's not the only thing it is. And it's not even whether I'm right or wrong for you.
It's just different.
Or for anybody else. This is just this is what I believe. This is who I am. This is what the life I live has shaped me to embrace. And so now we have much more conversations and we talk regularly. And we talk about a lot of things. I don't go too deep. Right. I just with mom, I don't go too deep because I don't want. I could never see my mother cry. Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard. Every time she cries, it hurts more than when I ever cry.
Mhm.
But I feel like a disappointment to my father on a daily basis.
Really?
Oh, oh, oh. What? And it may be a disappointment to myself, but they're the two people who build me up the most, the two people
Mhm.
who believed in me the most. And I don't see the results
Mhm.
of all they put into me. Like, and you look at them, the era they were born into.
Yeah.
It's the things they went through.
Mhm.
I ain't had half of that stuff to go through. And I
Yeah.
ain't doing much. Some days I feel like I'm not doing anything at all. So, that's part of it why I don't want to really talk to him, because I don't want to say, I don't want to say
Further
something that would,
disappoint.
I don't want to say something that would truly disappoint. I want to let them know I truly feel. Like, I don't want to let people know I want to give up,
Mm.
because they never did. He never did. He never did.
He
Never
never
did.
did what? He never
Give
gave
up.
up or feel
Give
like
up.
giving up.
He never gave up.
Oh, okay.
Like, he never gave up. I don't know how he felt. I don't,
Mhm.
but he never gave up. But, some days you feel like you're one step, like one breath away from saying, I don't care about anything at all. I just want to give up on it all. It all is not working. Everything's wrong. I just rather press the reset button on life. Ain't no reset button on life. But you want to find it so you can press it, because this ain't it. Like, some days you want to say, no, this ain't it. This ain't it. This is not it. This is literally the antithesis of it. How do I tell my father, like, yo, I quit my job?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lied. I lied to the end, because I couldn't look my father in the eye and say, yo, I just walked in one day, they said something to me, and I said, not today, not any more days. Never again will you say something to me and I have to take it. I want to choke everyone in this room.
Mhm.
To not do that, I'll just walk away. It ain't worth it. But I quit my job. I quit my job, yo.
That's a big thing to dad.
Yeah.
That is like
security. Like, you
for
have
those
to
of you
have
tuning
security.
in, you have to understand our dad. Like Jeremy said earlier, even when he was no longer satisfied with his job, he kept doing it anyway. I mean, of course, by this time he's more than halfway to retirement. So okay, whatever. But also, he had a family. He had the lifestyle that he sought after, et cetera, et cetera. So here we come. And I totally understand what you're saying about feeling like a disappointment, because here I am. I mean, my nickname, Dad's nickname for me is Baby Girl. Okay, growing up, I'm your baby girl. I'm a little princess, blah, 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 blah. And then I go away to college and am academically dismissed. It's like that, having to, have that drop that bomb of knowledge on them. It was like, yeah, so you actually have to load up the van and come and get me and all my stuff, because I failed out of college. Like right away. Like this wasn't building over time. Like after the first year, academic probation, didn't pull it up, dismissal, goodbye.
Yeah.
So I had to go home, and he didn't speak for me for what, I don't remember how long it was, but it felt like 2 whole weeks. Did not say a word to me.
But,
And
okay.
so I'm like, ugh, there's that. I felt like a disappointment because it took me a long time to get, see, I always thought, okay, I'm supposed to graduate high school, go to college, graduate in 4 years, get a job, and then after you get a job, you get an apartment, and then after I get an apartment, I meet a guy, and then after I meet a guy, 2 years later, we get married. And then after we get married, at least a year and a half, give them their first grandchild, and then after that, we buy a house, and now we have a house and waiting on baby number 2, and I've given y'all grandbabies, and I had my degree, and I'm working, and I did everything.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
And I ain't do none of that. I didn't do any of those things. Still not married, ain't gave them no grandchildren. At this point, they ain't getting none. It's like, I went back finally, some years later, and got the degree, and I'm paying for it every month. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm grateful because it has afforded me a certain type of lifestyle, but I didn't do it the way, and so
Yeah,
along the way, I
but
felt like a total disappointment the whole
but
way.
and you know, this has less to do with Dad and more to do with me and you.
Mhm.
Even them, but even them, the whole talk of how smart you are and how bright you are and all things and blah blah blah. And
Who,
then you
me?
went, no me.
Oh. I
And
was
then
like,
you
wait,
went,
what?
and then you went to school. And oh, here's the thing, during high school and beforehand, you got it done.
Yeah.
You got it done well.
And
When
then,
was the last time I got it done well?
to who?
For life, life, like I'm not of the misconception that I am a complete and utter F up.
Mhm.
I got through high school because I had to, and just buy enough for nobody to say nothing to me.
Mhm.
I went to college for 4+ years. I have nothing to show for it and have no ambition to go back whatsoever. I've never held down a stable job until my last one, and I quit that one as soon as it really got good to my money.
Mhm.
Um, I've bounced around from place to place, never staying anywhere for too long. They've never even seen me in a real relationship.
ESPN.
Yeah. No, the finals is on. I can't watch the finals because I ain't got no cable. I'm broke. Like, I, and my parents are so accomplished. Like, to be honest, they are. Like, they've done so much. Like, and this is on a whole nother tangent, but as the two black people born in the 1950s, very early 1950s, 1950, 1951,
Mhm.
from very poor families, from very poor places, they're the most, especially for mom, but even for dad to a certain extent, they're the most successful people that anybody who knows them knows.
Mhm. That's a lot to
And
live up to.
I've been afforded a lot of things that a lot of people close to me, a lot of people I've met and known my entire life have never been afforded. And you know, and then I'm black, you're black, they're black, very all the way Negro. But like you look at it and you say, black folks around this country, especially younger black folks around my age, not a lot of them were afforded a lot of things we were. A lot of my friends, a lot of people I talk to on a regular basis, nope. It was a
Mhm.
struggle from day one. It's a struggle now, but it's been a struggle from day one. It's the life they know. My parents are accomplished. My parents have done a lot. My parents have saved a lot. My parents have been smart money-wise. My father is just
Oh,
massively intelligent on how to manage his money and make
is.
it last and make it go farther and make money and just do smart things with his money.
Right.
A lot of people didn't have a father who could teach them on how to save money, build credit, be
Mhm.
smart. Yo, me
Mhm.
and my credit, there better be a lotto or we just never gonna be right. I gotta hit the numbers or we just not gonna get along forever. I look at that number and I say, too bad, because I know it ain't going nowhere. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. I ain't gonna have it. Too bad, y'all. Like, I got creditors calling me. I had a creditor call me while I was at work the other day. And they were calling about, and the best thing about it is the reason they got this number, because they didn't have this number, because I changed numbers.
Mhm.
Because I started putting in job applications. That's a whole other thing
Wow.
I would love to talk about to somebody one day. They got it because I started putting in
Wow.
job applications, and so I put that number on the job applications, and all of a sudden, all my creditors started calling me on that number when they hadn't for years. Hmm.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to make some money. Y'all trying to take my money. But anyway,
Wow.
so They called me and I told her straight up, front street. I was like, okay, you done with your spiel? You know what I'm saying? What you gotta say? She's like, yeah. I was like, well, here's what you can tell them for me. I ain't got it. I ain't never gonna have it. You ain't never gonna get that money from me. You might as well start calling today. Because that's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't got a plan. Ain't got no options. I ain't looking for it. But my father, he co-signed a car, like he co-signed on a car for me, and they brought out that paper with your number.
Mm-hmm.
He was like,
How?
exactly.
Wait, I thought there was a cap.
He and I both said, wait, what? And yeah, it's right. It's all the way right. And he ain't no millionaire. He ain't never had nobody to just force, like, give him money when stuff was hard. And I can't get my shit to. You can get some things.
No, Dad was the one that, you know how you see those furniture commercial things where it says 0% APR for the first 12 months. He's the one that says, okay, we're going to go over to fill in the blank furniture store, and we're going to get this furniture set with 0 APR for 12 months, and we're going to pay it off in 10. And guess what would happen?
7 months later, he'd be like, oh, that's paid off. He'd be like, how?
We're going to stop here for today. Please be sure to tune in next week for the continuation of this here wonderful episode as we get ready for Father's Day. Make sure you reach out to your dad, let him know how much you appreciate him and how much you've learned from him over the years on this here Father's Day. Later. Thanks for tuning in to Resilience Rising with Naturally Cinnamon. Life has a way of tossing unexpected trials and circumstances our way. We can't stop them, but we can better handle them by raising our resilience. Remember, you can find us at ResilienceRisingPodcast.com, on Instagram at Resilience Rising Podcast, and you can also send in a question or topic for this podcast by emailing us at ResilienceRisingPodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to like this podcast, love it, share it, rate it, and comment, but most important, make sure that you've subscribed and that you're following. I'm Naturally Cinnamon. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Creative Director Jeremy Key for J Key Collective. Music by AJ Miles.